There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonko table is back in session for the Book of Boba Fett episode 5. Likely the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett so far, but at the same time, the most one. We'll dive deep into it. But of course, with me as always is fellow Yonko Grandmaster Grandmaster. I see you've been standing the dark saber, as am I right here. That we both have the dark saber.
Does yours have the dark saber where?
Oh no, never mind. That's the Beskar spear in the back.
Right.
I thought it was the saber he was holding.
Funny enough, I'm more of a stan of the Beskar spear. And
really?
I have my thoughts on this faction of Mandalorians.
Okay.
I mean, Darksaber, yes, it's cool. The origins and the history of it is really cool, but
right,
this fool keeps fighting against the sword. So,
exactly.
I'll wait to see what's next in store for the saber and what's next in store for the Book of Boba Fett, because who knows at this point, because this was hardly the Book of Boba Fett this episode.
Our good boy Mando, he came in and stole the show.
Right.
Highway robbery, galactic robbery. He came in 5 episodes late, and our boy, what was it? Din Djarin. It basically caught us up on every little thing that we left off with him from season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Which is, did you like it? Did you like it?
I really liked the episode. However, there's a big asterisk as to my liking. This is not a Mandalorian show.
Right.
This is the Book of Boba Fett. This entire episode, despite of almost everything that I liked about it, this is not Boba Fett. Boba Fett did not appear once in this entire episode. That is a huge problem, and that's the best. This was the best episode. This was the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion. I mean, with what it had going and what it was addressing and what it was showcasing, like what's going on in the galaxy, this had Boba Fett beat. I was so invested, but then I remembered, wait, is this season 3 of The Mandalorian? Oh no, it's not. It's episode 5 of Boba Fett's TV series. I don't know. What do you think? You don't think this is the best episode?
Well, that's the thing. It's the Book of Boba Fett. So when you have a whole episode that showcases the Mandalorian, which albeit this was a great Mandalorian episode, but in the context of being a Boba Fett series, it feels so out of place, because I would have liked it a lot better had what been going on was maybe Mando's story would eventually intertwine with the Boba story. And I thought
that's what they were going to do.
Well, in the beginning, it definitely looked like it, because the dude who he went to go hunt was one of those same aliens that.
Yes.
Right.
And during the meeting, the gang clan meeting from last episode.
And they even flashed back in the preview specifically
at the exact scene.
That guy, right? That guy. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe this will tie back in to everything going on Tatooine. And nothing.
Nothing. They could not think of any way. The way they tied it back in at the end, which we'll get into it later. I feel like that was such a haphazard way of incorporating the story. Like, oh, by the way, I happen to be on Tatooine as I'm getting this ship, and oh look, Finnick knows I'm here, and she requests my help. All right, let's go.
What do you call those? That's maybe like
contrived.
I think it's called a Deus Ex Machina, because Fennec's like, we can find muscle if you know where to look. She had no idea he would be on Tatooine.
No idea.
There's
There's no indication
that he would have been there fixing a ship. Right. Oh,
No.
God. Yes. It's jarring,
Problematic.
because it was jarring. There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
I like it. I
Okay.
like it.
Right.
But with Din, with Mando, we'll just call him Mando. Mando's so
I
much
like
easier
it.
to
Then
remember.
Mando. Yeah, Mando.
Mando, he's still doing his bounty hunting thing. Still kind of misses our good boy Grogu out with Luke Skywalker. You see, again, this is why I think it's the best episode, because it's addressing things that I actually care about.
Because it's a Mando episode.
And it was so good. And I know people are gonna look back on this episode, and despite what they praised about it, they're gonna realize, oh my God, this is the book of Boba Fett. This makes no damn sense. Why this has any business being this good? Because it's addressing Grogu. It shows Mando is still using the dark saber. We got a lot of dark saber action.
We got a lot of dark saber, and he's I feel he's trying to make the switch over to the dark saber. He used the dark
Right.
saber in pretty much that whole beginning sequence. I don't think he used any of his other little doohickeys.
He didn't, which was very odd. I thought the whole point was to like incorporate it into your current arsenal. So like
right.
blaster, dark, because that's what the cartoons did, from what I remember. They would balance it.
Yeah, it was very balanced. Yes. But clearly this dude's inept.
Right.
Because like when watching that fight, I was like, oh dang, did he get shot or did he scar himself?
Right, with the saber. I thought he scarred himself, but I'm like, no, that's silly. That doesn't make any sense. How do you it's like, I don't know, watching the Star Wars movies with the Jedi, and one of them like cuts themselves because they're spinning the lightsaber too quickly. You don't see that.
Right, but Jedi, it makes sense. Jedi are trained
right
from such a young age using a lightsaber. Here he is again. He's hardly a full-fledged Mandalorian yet, and he's given the dark saber. And I feel at the ending of season 2 of Mandalorian, we didn't know how he was gonna approach owning the dark saber, but here he is going, balls to the wall, swinging that thing, and then he hits himself. So it's like, dude, take a step back. You got this awesome power, but you got to go train, man. You don't know how to wield this thing. All you know is a blaster. Right. He was even good with a spear, but this thing, he is clumsy. And
it chooses you.
Right.
It has to.
And it's good storytelling too. It makes so much sense that he's not good with the dark saber yet. Like, right. I don't think I would have preferred seeing him being able to twirl it all around and do all this fancy, like throw it up in the air, jetpack, catch it, and come back down.
There's too much. No, it's way too much.
That's the point we want to get to eventually.
Yes, I feel like he can get there.
Oh yeah, no, he can get there.
For sure.
He needs someone to train him. Who better to train him of a saber and a sword other than a Jedi?
Right. Or did she have a name?
The armorer.
The armorer.
The armorer. No, I don't think we learned her name yet, but I don't know.
I meant like title, like because I was gonna call her the blacksmith. But
she's the armorer.
She's an armorer. Okay,
but
armorer.
With that said, what does she know about? She's never wielded the dark saber. Has she personally?
She knows the history. She knows the history of it.
She knows the history, but does that make her any qualified to teach someone how to use it?
Maybe not teach, but at least give Boba some insight onto why he's having so many problems. Because before he had his training session, all she really showed was all Boba showed was that he was
Mando.
Boba.
It's a Boba show, but we're talking about Mando.
We're talking about Mando. Perfect. Mando swinging the sword around, and he's not really understanding why he's not coming to learning how to firmly grasp it. He doesn't know. and the armor is the one that tells him, you know, every swing you make is making the blade a little bit heavier. And he says it, you know, it's something that the blade, oh my God, I don't want to bring up Bleach or One Piece, but in those shows, the omnipotent, powerful swords in those mythos, they kind of choose their masters in a way. Right. So I guess the Darksaber kind of does that too. I don't know if we ever got that bit of lore in the Star Wars mythos. I could be wrong. I know it has history and I know it's very significant, but I didn't know the Darksaber, like, you know, it just Joe Schmo down the street can't just pick it up and start swinging it around. I didn't know that.
No, there's definitely a mythos centered around the creation of the lightsabers. You know, I forget what the Darksaber's made out of, but the new ones are made out of kyber crystals. And you're supposed to go to that cave on Ilum, and the crystal's supposed to choose you, and then you forge it. You know, but you know, Jedi lightsabers aren't just passed around to people. You know,
right?
But they have shown the ritual where the kyber crystal chooses you, but they also showed instances like in the movies where, you know, Anakin loses his lightsaber and they give him a brand new one, you know,
right?
Or you know, you got guys like General Grievous, who's not force sensitive at all. He's just a droid, cyborg, whatever, and he can, you know, do whatever he wants with like 8 of them at a time. So I don't know the history of the Darksaber as far as the creation. I mean, clearly it's a different material because it's black, but I don't know if there's any kind of like ritual base as far as the crystal or whatever the source chooses you. But I mean, thinking about it now, Moff Gideon wasn't so clean with the Darksaber either. I don't think.
It didn't look like it was hindering him though, at least. You know?
It didn't.
Like,
it didn't.
Like,
well, he's had it longer. He's had it longer.
He has. And they made it a point. I'm glad they addressed it, because I feel like they made it a point when they were showing both Mando and his playmate this episode, Paz Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla, yeah.
They made it a point to really show that they were swinging that thing so slowly, like it weighed so, it was such a heavy thing to swing, and it was kind of taking me out of it at first. I'm like, is this thing really that deadly if you're swinging it that slow? But then they address, no, it's heavy with each swing, apparently, with whatever it's made out of. I don't know, black kyber crystal or something.
Let's just call it that. The I don't know what you call Star Wars fans, but they'll come for us and correct us. I hope.
Gonna slit us.
That's fine. It's fine. I welcome the knowledge.
Yes, please. Only be knowledge. That's it. But Paz Vizsla, this episode, we saw him in Mando before.
We have, but I didn't remember if they had named him a Vizsla, because I don't remember, but because Vizsla is a big name. The moment because I watch it with captions, the moment it said Paz Vizsla, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna feel some type of way. Because do you remember the Clone Wars?
I mean, I remember the Clone Wars. I'm trying to remember the Vizsla clan.
In the Clone Wars, the main Death Watch. You remember Death Watch, the Mandalorian faction?
Yes.
That was led by Pre Vizsla. And Pre Vizsla had the Darksaber.
Okay.
And, you know, by their code, you know, he's the leader of Mandalore. But I mean, Death Watch is its own terrorist faction.
Right.
He lost to Darth Maul. I don't know if you remember that.
Right. No, I remember. I remember Darth Maul came in very cocky, and he wanted to take over Mandalore. I remember that.
Yes, because that was his whole big plot.
Right.
As far as like getting revenge on Obi-Wan, is I'm gonna take over a planet and I'm gonna lure Obi-Wan to come kill whatever.
Kenobi.
Yes. But see, I don't remember if Paz Vizsla was ever mentioned in the show. I think that'd be cool to tie back in to see if he was involved in watching Pre Vizsla fall, watch Darth Maul take the Darksaber.
Right.
But you know, yeah, he's got ties because I didn't even realize there was a Jedi named Vizsla who made the dark saber. So this thing technically belongs.
It's their clan.
Yeah, it's their clan. It's their claim. Well, obviously this guy sucks too. He's not ready to have it.
Well, at least they tied it back in that sense, because now that you refresh my memory about who the Vizsla clan is, during the episode, I'm like, come on, man. Are we seriously gonna be baboons here saying, ooh, I deserve dark saber for Mandalore? I'm like, come on, bro. But now that I understand the Vizsla history, it made more sense for Paz to come in and be like, that thing is mine. I'm taking it from you in combat. So there's at least that going for it. But
I mean, that's definitely going to be a major point too in Mando season 3. There's going to be other Mandalorians coming to duel him. You know?
Right. No, for sure. I mean, assuming he still has it by then.
I imagine he's going to have it for a good minute, and then he loses, and then maybe he has a epiphany. He's like, I gotta win it back. I gotta be the one I gotta bring all the factions of Mandalore together. But
feel
again,
like, yeah.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I feel like it has to be something where he keeps the blade, because he got rid of the only other melee weapon that he had, which was the Beskar spear. And I'm like, okay, you're making it as a gift for baby Grogu, so we know we're gonna see baby Grogu again at some point,
right?
But I'm like, okay, so you got rid of your Beskar spear, so now we know you're locked in with the saber. Like that's your main weapon, because otherwise he could have lost the dark saber at any time, and then you could be like, oh well, the Beskar spear, he can use that to fight still. But no, so we're stuck with dark saber, which is fine.
Is it fine? You
wanted the Beskar spear.
Well, it's not that I want the Beskar spear. It is the religion I have the problem with. Their rules, they're so outdated. A Beskar spear can go up against a lightsaber, and you just melted it for a child's plaything. like what she said, the spear was created to penetrate Beskar armor.
It is not meant for to be used as a weapon. It must be used for Beskar defense armor.
And I'm just like, okay, yeah, but okay, if a Jedi wants to come, one of the sworn enemies of Mandalore,
that they still hate, I imagine, especially their sect. I would think so.
Yes, and that's my problem. And again, this is good storytelling. He is grappling between, these people who he's been kind of, he's been raised by this sect his whole life. He met Bo-Katan in season 2, and she opened his eyes to, a different viewpoint. So we're going to definitely see Din go back and forth between, following this is the way, Bo-Katan's way, or choosing his own little mixture of what he wants to believe in and how he wants to, act out this religion, which, and again, I'm like Bo-Katan. I'm trying to be with Bo-Katan's sect. This sect is stupid.
She's the only one that makes sense.
Right. Like when they laughed at him for not taking off his helmet.
Yes, because that was the reveal, right? When they said, "Oh my God, you don't take off your helmet. You guys are, you guys are that way. You're of that faction." Oh my God, they are ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they smelted that thing into. Do we know what what is smelted to?
We have no
little
idea.
Rings, like little.
They looked like rings, but then I thought maybe they're about to make those into something.
Or maybe those were like the remnants that were like tossed to the side.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
We don't know. We don't know.
Do we think whatever he smelted from a smelting factory? Do we think whatever he smelted is in any way gonna be better than what Luke Skywalker can give that baby?
No, because
No.
It
depends, I guess, right? Because it's wrapped up in a little baby Yoda napkin.
So it looks
head
like
thing.
Baby Yoda's head, right? Someone
It
else
does.
pointed. I was talking to some of my bros. They said this. I didn't realize it looked like his head.
It did. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's a little on the nose, but
Right.
fine.
But it's like this. The species, which still doesn't have a name, he's 50 years old and he's still a baby. That means I don't know when he's gonna hit adolescence, unless he's like 100 years old. But what's he gonna do with whatever he gives him? And what is Luke actually gonna train him to do? It's like, hey kid, get into. Oh, I mean, I guess he's getting more in touch with the Force, and he is knowledgeable. Right. He's got some sort of intelligence, but he's still a baby. He still eats freaking frog eggs when, he's not supposed to. So I don't know what he's about to give this kid if it's not a toy. And if you melted that spear for a toy, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna be so upset.
I hope not. Now that you said now I understand the child's plaything remark.
Yes.
I hope not. Good God. Maybe it's something because he's tired of him grabbing the stick shift in his ship whenever they go on rides. Remember the little
ball?
You keep taking off. He's like, okay, now you have this. Don't touch the stick on my ship. Don't do it. But the armorer raised a good point in this episode, saying, what makes you think you're going to be able to see that boy again?
Right.
Why? Because the Jedi way is to forego attachments.
Yep.
And knowing Luke at this point in his life, he's going to follow the Jedi doctrine. And I'm very curious, how is that going to clash with Mando wanting to see him? Because the way this episode ended, he basically said, I will return to help this stuff going on with the Book of Boba Fett. Oh yeah, I forgot it was his show. I will return.
Right.
But I need to go take care of something with a baby. So he's gonna go deal with Luke and the baby. And I want to know if Luke's literally just gonna let him give the baby that toy, if he's gonna take the baby with him. I don't know.
Well, see, that's the gray area, because from what we know about the movies, oh God, and I hate referencing like 7, 8, and 9.
You got to.
Well, again, we don't even really know.
I guess that's very far in the future. Like, that's so far into it.
It is, but it's like we don't know how Luke started. He started an academy with Kylo Ren was a part of it.
Right.
He started that, but we don't know how deep of the Jedi teachings he was actually going with it, because Luke, being not raised from a youngling as a Jedi, he becomes a Jedi. He's damn near 20 at that point in the do you just treat people as people, or are you going to now look for Force sensitive children, tell them to drop all attachments? Yet Luke, you were raised by Uncle Luke, and
he got to live the best life.
Right. You're right. How you going to tell these kids that, hey, you got to let go of attachments, and yet you yourself have grown up with attachments? So it begs the question, how deep is he actually going with the Jedi teachings? Because, I mean, again, like I just said, is he going to tell Grogu, you can't talk to the Mandalorian kid?
Don't do it. You're not allowed.
Right. It's over. Leave it alone. So if this series sheds light on what Luke is actually teaching some of these children, I think that'd be really cool. And that's
right.
That is something the movies, the sequel series, failed to address, because they're just shitty and have terrible writers. This series can right those wrongs right now.
It could. I think it could. Because, I mean, again, I also hate referencing those movies, but you always go back to that scene when Rey is hearing all the past Jedi talking to her right before she's about to one-shot Emperor Palpatine.
Oh God.
And you hear the Jedi of the past in her head, and there are noticeable figures in there that you hear Anakin, like Christian Haydenson. You hear
Hayden
his voice.
Christensen. Good
Hayden,
job.
I said it backwards.
You said it backwards.
Hayden Christian. You hear him. You hear Ewan McGregor. You hear Ahsoka.
You do hear Ahsoka, yeah.
Right. I don't think there's anything notable of like a mysterious voice that we didn't know. If that was maybe a baby Grogu in there. I don't know. I would have to go back and watch it, which I am not gonna do. I'm
gonna say no, because I don't think Jon Favreau, who I think is written near all the episodes of Mandalorian and Boba Fett, was ever working with the conglomerate of dummies working on the sequel series.
Well,
So,
I mean, the first season came out like literally the first couple episodes. It was either right before the Rise of Skywalker dropped or immediately right after.
it was right before, because Rise of Skywalker came out December, Disney Plus days in November. So it was right before.
Right.
So he could have kind of took stuff that they were establishing in those films. I don't think he did.
It's possible. Maybe he didn't. It's very plausible. But I guess we'll wait and see what they do with Baby Grogu.
Right.
The two problems I have with this episode, aside from the obvious one, right? It's a Boba Fett episode that's about only the Mandalorian. Aside from that, I have two problems with it. The first problem is right when Mando defeats is it Paz?
Paz.
Right when he defeats Paz, there's this awkward moment where the armorer is asking them questions about did they take off their helmet? And I mean, I knew what it was going to lead to, like, oh, you took off your helmet. This is not the way. But what warranted her asking that question right then and there? Did I miss something or?
No, I thought the same thing. I thought, okay, this just sounds like some plot device to get him to admit.
To get him to move, to get him to get out of there, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I took it as maybe that's part of the ritual, where after the trial by combat, it's like kind of like a checklist.
Okay.
Or it's like, okay, you won. Before we give you the sword, I mean, he kept the saber still.
Yeah.
It's like a checklist, like, are you doing this right? You doing this right? Because she asked Paz first, and then she asked Din. And I thought he was gonna lie, honestly, but I guess he's too honorable.
He has his vow.
Right. Which he broke. He broke.
I remember he did. What was the context again? Do you remember?
There were two instances, because you can take off your helmet. You can't take it off in front of anybody.
Right. Because they have to shower.
Right. So the first time he did it was when him and comedian Bill Burr, I forget his name in the show, they snuck into that Imperial base.
Okay.
And,
okay. Right.
Right. He had to I think he had to take it off for some reason.
I think they were going into like a checkpoint or something.
Yeah. It was some kind of checkpoint.
Or maybe it was that general, right? Was it the general?
Yeah, I think the general. Because they were, because they were in, they were like
in a room.
Hall. They were like, and they're like, why you got your helmet on?
And the high-ranking officer they always do this with like these characters that are like high-ranking individuals in like an empire type of setting. Like, I know they always do this with like if it's a World War II movie, they always do this with Nazis.
Oh yeah,
they're very aggressive and antagonistic with their own people.
Right. That just reminds me of the scene in Inglourious Bastards when they're
that's what I was thinking of.
Right. Yeah. Now that the more you say it, right, I see it. You're absolutely right.
They always do.
It's very tropey. It's like,
man, I'm just trying to eat.
Right.
Leave me alone. We're fighting the same battle.
Let me pick on the corporal over here. Make him look at this loser. He's got his helmet on in the mess hall. Let me, So that was the first time. And then the second time was the finale of season 2. He took it off right before he said goodbye to Grogu, because that one was, they were both warranted, because I forgot they snuck into that base to find Gideon's ship. So
yes,
it was all in the name of Grogu, his tribe. So
Okay.
but yes, it made no sense why she asked them to.
Is this the way?
All right, I just had to. Again, he needed a way out to where he can kind of maneuver through what he wants to do as far as the Mandalorian culture, and this
Right.
provided him the out.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we will now see if he wants to go to Mandalore and bathe in the thing that will
mineral water
that washes away his Mandalorian sins, or is he just gonna
It's like,
keep trucking? Because Bo-Katan would probably show up and be like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing, man?
what are you here?
It's
What
just-
are you doing?
It's just water."
It's just water. But she said this is the way. So who cares?
If this is the way, told you to jump off the cliff, would you?
Yes.
And that is the problem with extremists. They are extremists.
They are.
And yeah, Bo-Katan is like Martin Luther picking apart Christianity. So
Right. It's definitely interesting. Especially with Mandalore. Was this the first time we've seen like a visual representation of Mandalore being destroyed?
Oh, yes.
That's but because like wasn't it always a question like what's Mandalore doing during the Empire phase? Like you always maybe heard once in a while, oh, the Empire occupied Mandalore or the Empire destroyed Mandalore, but like you didn't see it. The same way you hear about Coruscant, right?
Right. Yeah, we haven't seen Coruscant in years. Right.
You don't know what the Empire is doing visually, at least visually, like seeing it on the screen, whether it's like a cartoon or a video game, just at least in Disney's canon universe.
Right. See, I was just about to say they did show a little bit when Din got rescued, but he wasn't on Mandalore because he's a foundling.
Exactly.
That was some other planet where the Mandalorians, I guess, were seeking refuge and they stopped whatever raid was going on.
Right.
But again, there's a blank period within the Star Wars canon of what's going on in Mandalore, because the last we saw was Clone Wars finale.
Right.
They beat Darth Maul, but then Darth Sidious happened, the Emperor.
Right.
So I guess that still left a vacuum, and
Right.
Mandalore just without a leader was just always in chaos. And then we have now, what is this? What did she say? The 1,000 tears or something?
Oh, the day of 1,000 tears or something. Like
right.
we have a day, but like we actually have a title to give something of that describes how Mandalore succumbed to the Empire.
Right. So I take it as, the Empire, recognized Mandalore as a threat because, they were forever neutral during the Clone Wars, and then
Right.
ravaged by terrorist group Death Watch and then Maul. And if someone like Bo-Katan came into power and, she's Satine's sister, would have probably backed the peaceful ways, but also kept the warrior way. She was probably the best
Right.
balance that Mandalore could have used. And the Emperor just came in and said, "Fuck that noise. Beskar is too powerful.
Limited power."
Right. Kill them all."
just bomb the entire planet.
Right.
It's
Right.
great.
So, and we still haven't been back to Mandalore. We have no idea what's happening. It looks like they set the whole thing on fire. So I imagine everything's in ruins. I would like to see more Mandalore. I would like to know what's going on.
Right. Interesting enough, like, well, I guess if they destroyed it early on by just bombing it, they wouldn't need to, but I'm surprised they just didn't seal the deal and blow it up with the Death Star,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point too.
That I would think of all the planets you want to destroy, if you don't want them to pop them back up, it's this one, Mandalore.
Unless there's like just loads of Beskar sitting on Mandalore.
There's that, yeah. Maybe some secrets on there that deal with the past. That Palpatine back then, he just wanted his greedy little hands on. Kind of like why Coruscant's still around, because Coruscant has a ton of Jedi stuff on their temple. So, Palpatine wasn't going to destroy that. He was going to keep it, hoard it for himself.
Right.
But But aside from that awkward scene where she mentioned the helmet, oh, did you ever take off your helmet? The other weird scene was this entire sequence of building his new ship. It went on for way too long.
Okay, that is what everybody's been saying. It's too long.
It was like and don't get me wrong, like I like the character. I always forget her name.
I have no idea what her name is. I feel bad.
The mechanic.
She's played by Amy Sedaris, but I do not know the character's name.
Her scenes are fine, you know, that she's funny sometimes. I feel like, but you need her in small doses.
Very small doses, yeah.
Very small doses, because then when you get her in what you got here, like you start noticing, damn, are we still here? I want to move.
They give her some really weird, cringe type of dialogue. She's like, I dated a Jawa before. What the hell? Why are you dating?
That's disgusting. That is disgusting.
I'm just thinking of we have not seen the anatomy of a Jawa minus their eyes, barely their hands and
they're
feet.
furry apparently, according to her.
Right.
That's sick. And don't get me wrong. We've seen others, like alien species, have relationships. We saw in the Clone Wars, one of the clone troopers.
Cross. They cross.
What's that race called?
Twi'lek, was she a Twi'lek?
The one with the tentacle hair things.
Yeah,
Twi'leks. Yeah. That's fine. Because we know the anatomy for the most part.
Yeah,
a Jawa is shrouded in darkness. It looks like a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. It's weird.
It's just, see, and again, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, she overstayed the welcome because the scene went too long, and then that's probably ad-libbed. I imagine.
I feel it has to be.
Line.
It has to be. I dated a Jawa before, and I know it wasn't Jon Favreau that directed, but whoever it was, like, oh, keep it rolling.
It's Bryce Dallas Howard. You know her. You know her. You probably don't know her.
I like. Yeah. What is she?
Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man 3. That's all you need.
Oh, like that was her? Like that was her playing that role? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Or most recent, the Jurassic World films.
Oh, she was the redhead.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she directed some good episodes in season 2 of Mandalorian.
Okay.
She had a great first half episode up until this point.
This one was just.
Yeah.
It took too long. And you know what? It's funny. I bet you in the writing room, Disney either saw like how, I guess, maybe Boba Fett was up until episode 5, and they probably only had enough material for like the first 2/3, and they're like, okay, so in the last third, Boba Fett's gonna come in, he's gonna ask Mando for his help and blah blah blah, and Disney's like, no, do not put Boba in this one. Extend that scene as long as you need to run the whole episode time. And I feel like that's what they did. It was an extended montage of them building the ship, which, by the way, the ship, right? Mm-hmm. Clear homage or a clear reference. It's literally a reference to episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's the same ship that Anakin flew when he blew up the separatist droid facility in episode 1.
Uh-huh. And he even, on the test flight, he ran it through the trail of the pod race.
Okay, I thought he did. I rewinded it because there was a line where he said, it's nimble like he said like a speed raider, I think, or he said something where I thought he was referencing like one of the pod vehicles from that one, and then the area he goes through, I thought it looked like that, so I rewinded it to make sure. Like, what? Oh, did he just go through the where Anakin raced in the pod race?
They even name dropped it. I just can't remember the name. But that's it. And I've played that level on Lego Star Wars 1 enough to also recognize it too. That's it. It's near dang shot for shot.
I like that. That was cool.
I like it. I mean, yeah, I pretty much liked that scene, like that whole sequence when he's just in the ship. The building took way too long. Like, you mean to tell me he can't find some other business to do on Tatooine that could have maybe better incorporated him into the overall Boba story?
Nope.
No. Fennec just showed up, you know.
Fennec just knows where he is. Shows
Your friend's here. My friend. Like, you know.
I have no friends.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's cool. He's got a Nabooian starfighter.
It is Nabooian.
I feel we might get some cooler space fights. I mean,
we should.
I mean, just why give him a starfighter? He's not going to starfight.
Exactly, right. And we saw that scene. Was that supposed to reference anything? The one where the two patrols, they stop him and they're asking him all these questions.
We've met one of them before.
The older guy?
The older one. I'm pretty sure in season 2, the same thing happened. He basically ran away from the cops when he was transporting the Toad girl.
Okay. Right.
And they got stuck they got stuck on that ice planet.
Okay, right.
And they followed him, and I'm pretty sure they got stuck too. And they were almost eaten by that giant Arctic spider thing, and I think he saved them.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's the tie-in right there.
Oh, okay. I remember that. Right.
Yeah, it's very vague because it was very minuscule storyline in the grander scheme.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that, it's a cool. I mean, I'm sure we'll see that guy again. Funny enough, that actor, he's most known for a show called Kim's Convenience. He's gonna be the live action Iroh on the Avatar Netflix series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool
That's
enough.
interesting.
So he's high profile. I'm sure they'll bring him back.
Right.
But make it make sense though. I don't want to just see him keep pulling over Mando. And then
he's
like,
that obnoxious cop he just pulls you over, but then he's halting your day. He's like, "Oh wow, man, long time no see. Where you headed?"
Right.
You know, like trying to make small talk. I was like, dude, leave me alone.
No, honestly, that's what he do. He pulled out real quick when he's like, I think I remember that voice from this planet. See ya.
See, he's gone. He's like, dude, I'm not here to chat. Goodbye.
Right.
But the only other reference I saw in here, and I tried to find something more concrete from it, because if it was referencing what I think it was, I was ready to scream while I was watching it. But the BD droid.
I saw it too.
The BD droid. Like I don't remember what the full BD name was. But by the way, what is it referencing? It's
Jedi Fallen Order, the video game.
Jedi Fallen Order,
featuring Padawan Cal Kestis in a post Order 66 world, trying to survive as a Jedi, and goes on this adventure with some other Jedi, some other people, and comes across various what do you call those guys? The Inquisitors. Right, the Inquisitors, and his loyal companion is a BD droid. And I'm pretty sure that game introduced BD droids. Like, I was trying to think. Yeah, I was trying to think if we had seen BD droids in other Star Wars media. But honest to God, I think that game introduced the BD droid. So when they put it in there, I was like, where's Cal?
Where's Cal? Oh my God. I swear that's a lot. That's a lot to introduce. Cause like, of all the things, you know, they could have shown some more screen times to a number of droids, right? They could have done one of the R213 droids. They could have done a C model, C3PO model, whatever it's called. They had a lot to choose from. They specifically chose a BD droid. They didn't name drop the full thing of like what it's called, because I think that would indicate at least, oh, BD from Fallen Order is the same. The BD, 1075. This is the same one from from this episode. They didn't do that. It just said BD droid as if like it's a general term for the droid type.
Yeah, BD is the designation. Yeah.
Right. But damn, if that is BD from Fallen Order, so many questions about where's Cal Kestis. I always forget this actor's name, but I love him in literally everything I've seen him in.
Cameron Monaghan.
I think
Who plays Cal, right?
He plays Cal.
From Shameless.
From Shameless, yes. That was Gotham.
Gotham,
he plays the Joker in Gotham.
Yeah, Cameron Monaghan.
Fantastic actor. I've loved him. I mean, I haven't seen too much of Gotham myself, but like, you know, he's, from what I've seen of just his acting in it, he's great, regardless of what the story goes and what direction it goes.
Right. I agree. I loved him as Cal, and the few Shameless episodes I've seen, he's good.
He's great in Shameless. So do we think we're gonna see a Cal? Because we got a sequel game in the works.
Oh, timely. You drop a BD Easter egg.
Oh my god!
They announced the 3 Respawn, right? It's Respawn.
They announced 3 Star Wars games in development at Respawn Entertainment, and one of them is confirmed to be Fallen Order 2. So we are getting a Fallen Order 2 sequel,
which is fantastic.
Fantastic. I love that. But yeah, I did not even think of the timing, but they announced that this week, and this week is the cameo of a BD droid. Like I don't know, man. Like that's crazy.
I feel it would be foolish for them to. I mean, granted, Cal is super young. Timeline wise, it wouldn't make sense if he was old. So unless they casted an older actor, or maybe they are looking to
age up.
Maybe age him
Cameron?
Up. Right? They could. Or maybe they are just hinting at maybe they're gonna do a series based on Fallen Order.
Oh my god, I would love that. Fallen Order was so good.
And I did look it up. Fallen Order is the first appearance of a BD droid. So
it was the one that created it then.
Listen, if I'm looking at it now, the BD droid has only been featured in a Star Wars comic, which I don't know if these writers are pulling straight from like comic sources, or if they're looking at more of the bigger sources, like say shows, movies, or video games, because I would feel that would be the main source of learning of a BD droid. So it could be something coming. It could.
Oh man, my expectations are high now. As much as I love Ahsoka, and I know we all do, we want to see her again. I'd rather see Cal. You've already done Ahsoka. They've already done. Okay, if we didn't see Ahsoka before, then yeah, okay. I'll be rooting for Ahsoka to make an appearance in Boba. But because we've seen her already, and it would just more or less be the same thing as last time, her coming in, kicking ass, then saying, watch my show in the next couple of years, and then she leaves for the rest of the season. Oh my God, if they do Cal Kestis hopping in, I don't know, man. Because
just a reoccurring act. Like, we have yet to have a Jedi in these series be a reoccurring factor.
Right.
Yes, bring him in. I mean, make it make sense. But
it makes sense.
Yes, you open the idea for a better show when you have a sworn enemy of the Mandalorians, a sworn enemy of a dude who's been hunting, Boba Fett. He's been hired to hunt Jedi and whatnot.
Right.
That creates an interesting dynamic if you want to play with that. So you got opportunity here.
They do.
Right.
The best episode was a Mandalorian episode.
And then the episode ends like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see Grogu, and then I'll be back to help. Which means the next episode, a good amount of time will have passed.
Or I feel like they're gonna have some final battle in the last episode, and then to come in and save the day, I think that's when Mando's gonna swoop in.
Oh, you think he's gonna come in at the end?
I think it's gonna, yeah, because wherever, we don't know where Grogu is or where Luke has him.
We don't.
And I doubt even Luke told him where to come find them if he needs them. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like a gap of time where he says he needs to go find Grogu, but he doesn't know where to look. So he has to kind of off screen find out where he is, then travel there, then talk to Luke and say, here's his gift, let me take him, or no, I don't know what you want me to do. Then leave, fly back to the Tatooine, because Tatooine's the nexus of everything in the Star Wars universe.
Right. If it don't come through Tatooine, it don't matter.
It don't matter. So, but I mean, that's what I think. I feel like there's so much he has to do in just getting to Grogu. I feel like we're not going to see Mando again until the final episode, which I'd imagine is gonna be like some final fight with the Pikes, right? Like some
it's
all-out
the
war
with the Pikes, yeah,
right.
Who were name dropped again, right?
By the mechanic, she's acknowledging, oh yeah, the Pikes are.
Oh yeah, everything's gone to hell, she said, since the Pikes.
Exactly. So, or we could see him next week. I don't know. It's possible. Clearly, the best episodes are with the Mando, so
we need to see Boba next week. If I don't know how I feel if we get 2 Mandalorian centered episodes.
No, if we get 2, that's how I know the Boba series failed.
Yes.
Like, I don't get me wrong, I still like the previous episodes to varying degrees, but we've been saying it every week with these episodes. It needs to find like its stride. Like we keep saying, it's building up. And even last week we were like, now we're going to be in the present day section and we're just going to get all Boba from here on out. Look what we got. I thought we were going to get like 5 minutes of Mando appearing and then Boba's going to come in. No, entire episode about Mando.
A whole side quest.
A whole side quest. Like, oh my God. What? Oh, God. Eddie. I mean, I feel like we covered most of everything with the episode. Again, great episode, but it's problematic because of where it's debuting. And it's like, don't get me wrong, if this was an episode in Mandalorian season 3, I'd be praising it, saying, damn, this episode's fantastic. Look at all the greatness, but then you have the mechanic bit and then the thing with the weird question during the combat. But other than that, I would be praising it to high heaven. But because it is Boba Fett, this is just weird.
Right. It's jarring.
It's Din Djarin. We should spend that as a pun in the title.
Yeah. We should. That's good. That's good stuff.
But yeah. Any other final thoughts, like where you want it to go? We got just 2 episodes left. 2
episodes left, right? Please just start this war. Don't make us wait to see Mando pop up on the last episode. Have them get some downtime with Boba. Let's establish their dynamic again. And let's get things moving. Come on. It's enough games. Let's do this. All right.
It's Boba Fett.
It's the Boba Fett show. Right? Just please end it on Boba Fett. Yes. That's all I need.
We'll see. 2 episodes left. That's a little under 2 hours of time we got left with this series, assuming we get greenlit for a season 2. But we'll see. But that's all we have this week for the Book of Boba Fett, episode 5. Let us know what you all think in the comments below. Are you standing Mando? I mean, you should be standing Mando at this point if you're a Star Wars fan, but are you standing him in Boba Fett's own series? If you are, do you like the dark saber tidbits we got? Did you like the references to Baby Grogu in episode 1 of Star Wars, which I feel like they don't do a lot of? They don't really make references to the more unfavorable elements of the Star Wars movies, episodes 1 and 2 being the major ones. So to see them acknowledge, like, hey, one of the good moments from episode 1 was the pod racing. I don't care what anyone says. The pod race was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool fight. But did you guys like that? Did you like when the Mando met up with the armorer and had his fight with Paz? Was this the way Boba Fett series was supposed to go? I don't know. You tell us. But let us know your thoughts on the comments below wherever you're listening to us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, Instagram. We're on everything, guys. So give us a watch, give us a listen, and yeah, take care. I'm your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop, signing off. Take care, guys.